does a bitch get bit by a camel?
I don't know.
How?
A new path and a painful goodbye. Amy Slaton, mother, wife, and longtime fan favorite of the hit show, quietly packed her bags after a devastating family dispute. With her children by her side, she walked out of the home she once shared with her sister, Tammy, determined to rebuild her life in peace. For years, the Slaton sisters fought their battles together, against weight, against judgment, and against the world. But somewhere along the way, the closeness that once defined them began to crumble. On the porch of her new home, Amy now sits in a rocking chair, watching her sons play in the fading evening light. The cool breeze brushes against her skin, such a contrast to the fiery arguments that pushed her to this moment. She takes a deep breath. This is her new beginning. But that new beginning came at a cost. How the fight started, the slow breakdown, it didn't happen overnight. It began with small things. What to cook, how to clean, how to raise the kids, who was helping and who wasn't. Tiny disagreements piled up like stone after stone, forming a wall between the sisters. Amy loved Tammy fiercely, but love wasn't enough anymore. She needed peace.
Stability.
A home where her kids could laugh without hearing shouting in the background. She tried to hold on. She tried to keep the family together. But Tammy's frustration, rooted in her health struggles, pain, and exhaustion, was growing heavier by the day. And then came the night, everything shattered. The explosion that changed everything. What began as a small argument became a storm. Tammy's eyes were filled with anger and hurt as she lashed out. "You think just because you've lost weight you're better than me." Her voice shook with rage and heartbreak. "You don't care anymore, Amy. You've abandoned me." Amy froze. Those words cut deeper than any argument before.
Tammy, no.
"I've never abandoned you," she said softly, tears forming in her eyes. "I'm just trying to help you. I don't want you to end up where I was, stuck, hurting, and scared." But Tammy wasn't listening. She was drowning in her own pain, unable to hear the love in Amy's voice. The room felt like it was collapsing. The air thickened. Every word became another wound. And then, before the fight could explode any further, Chris stepped in. Chris breaks the silence enough. His voice was firm, steady, and louder than the chaos around them. He looked Tammy straight in the eye. "Amy's been through hell too. You can't keep pushing her away. We're trying to help you, but you've got to meet us halfway." Tammy's face crumbled. She turned and stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind her. The house went silent. Amy stood there, shaking, her heart splitting in two. She loved her sister more than anything, but she couldn't keep losing herself in the struggle. That night, Amy made the hardest decision of her life. She gathered her children, packed her things, and walked out. Every step felt like stepping on broken glass, but she knew she had to choose peace. For herself, for her kids, for her sanity. The emergency call that changed the family hours later, as the family sat around the dinner table without Tammy, an uneasy quiet settled in. Then the phone rang. It was Tammy's doctor. She had been missing appointments again, ignoring warnings again, and now her health was declining at a terrifying pace. Amy's heart dropped. "We have to help her," she whispered, wiping her tears. "If we don't step in now, I'm scared she won't make it." The Slaton family rallied. Chris, Amanda, Misty, everyone came together, desperate to reach Tammy before it was too late. Amy picked up the phone and called her sister. Her voice trembled, but her message was steady. "Tammy, I'm not giving up on you. We will do this together, but you have to let us help you." There was a long silence on the other end. Finally, Tammy broke, and she agreed to face the doctors, to face the truth, and to fight for her life. A glimmer of hope. It wasn't a miracle fix. It wasn't the end of the conflict. But for the first time in a long time, the Slatons saw a spark of hope. They weren't just a reality TV family dealing with drama. They were siblings fighting for each other's lives. Season 5, the hardest battle, yet the newest season brings both sisters to their breaking points. Amy's struggle. A mother of two, Amy is drowning under the weight of sleepless nights, raising toddlers' body image fear, Emotional exhaustion, the pressure of maintaining her weight loss. She's terrified of slipping backward. She's terrified of failing her children. She's terrified of failing herself. But she keeps going because she has no choice. Tammy's fight, meanwhile, Tammy faces the most dangerous chapter of her life. Hospitalizations, warnings, life or death stakes. She's been given one last chance to get her life back before her body gives out completely. But emotional eating, loneliness, and old habits pull her into a dark place. A place she's been trying to escape for years. A family standing at the edge this season isn't just about weight loss. It's about survival, sacrifice, and the painful journey toward healing. Amy has chosen a new path with her husband and children. Tammy is fighting the biggest battle of her life. And the Slaton family stands on the edge, trying to hold each other together before everything falls apart. But through the heart, the dusk light filtered through the blinds in Tammy's room, painting faint orange stripes across her bed. But she didn't notice. Her breathing was shallow, her skin cold, her fingers trembling as she pressed them against her forehead. She felt it again. The spiral. It wasn't sudden. It never was. It crept in quietly, then swallowed her whole. Her chest tightened as if unseen hands were squeezing her lungs. Her thoughts raced, twisted, collided, turning into a storm she couldn't escape. What if I fail again? What if this is my last chance? What if I can't fix the damage I've already done? Her own mind became her enemy. She stared at the mirror across the room, barely recognizing the woman looking back.
Exhausted.
Afraid.
Lost.
She whispered into the quiet room, words almost too small to hear. Maybe it is too late. And that thought alone made her knees go weak. Chapter 2. Amy notices the change. Amy had been folding laundry in the living room when she heard Tammy's door quietly creak open. The sound was nothing unusual, but something in the tone of it, in the heaviness, made Amy instinctively pause. Tammy shuffled in, her eyes avoiding everyone, her posture sunken. She headed straight for the couch but didn't sit. She collapsed into it. Amy watched her for a moment. Tammy wasn't just tired. She was somewhere else, distant, unreachable. Amy slowly approached. "Tam, you okay?" She kept her voice soft, careful. Tammy wiped her face quickly, pretending she hadn't been crying.
What? Yeah. Fini.
Amy wasn't convinced. She had seen this version of Tammy before, years ago, when everything began to fall apart. Amy gently sat beside her. "Can you just talk to me?" Tammy inhaled sharply, and for a moment, Amy thought she would open up. But instead, Tammy whispered, "I don't know how." Her voice cracked on the last word. Amy's heart tightened. Her sister wasn't angry. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't making excuses. She was breaking. Chapter 3. The truth finally surfaces after minutes of suffocating silence. Tammy finally found her voice. "Sometimes," she said, her eyes fixed on the floor, "I feel like I'm drowning, Amy. Every day. Like I'm trying to move, but there's something holding me down." Amy swallowed hard. "Tammy, is it the weight?" Tammy shook her head. "It's everything. The pressure, the expectations, the fear, the guilt, the cameras, the surgery,
My past.
my mistakes. I feel like I'm being crushed from the inside out." Her voice trembled, and for the first time in a long time, Tammy allowed her vulnerability to show. Amy reached over and touched her hand. "Tam, you're not alone. I know you feel like you are, but you're not." Tammy blinked rapidly, fighting tears. "I am." Everyone moved on. "You have your kids, your house, your life. I'm still here, stuck in this body, stuck in this fear. I'm scared I'll never leave it." Amy felt her throat tighten. She whispered, "Then let's leave it together." And for the first time, Tammy didn't pull away. Chapter 4. Packed in the quiet of night that night, after the boys were asleep and the house was silent, Amy and Tammy sat at the kitchen table again. The same table where so many arguments had happened. So many breakdowns. So many confessions. They talked for hours about everything they had avoided. Their childhood. Their trauma. Their fears. Their regrets. their hopes, their guilt. Tammy admitted that she hated needing help, but hated feeling abandoned even more. Amy admitted she felt guilty for every moment she hadn't been there. And somewhere between their tears, their apologies, and their shared pain, they found something they thought they'd lost: each other.
By sunrise, they had made a pact.
No more lies. No more pretending. No more silence. If one of them struggled, they would say it. If one of them slipped, the other would catch them. If one of them fell apart, the other would sit with them until the pieces were held together again. This time, they would fight their battles together. Chapter 5. Before Amy, there was Amanda, but Tammy's journey didn't begin with Amy. Long before the show, long before the fame, long before the chaos, there was Amanda. Amanda, the fierce sister, the protector, the fighter, the one who hid her pain beneath strength, the one who held Tammy up when the world turned its back. But supporting Tammy wasn't easy. Not emotionally, not physically, not mentally. Over the years, Amanda had given up more than Tammy ever realized. Her social life, her time, her relationships,
Her rest.
her dreams. She did it out of love, but love can become heavy when carried alone. And Amanda had been carrying it for years. Chapter 6. The night everything explodes, it was late. The air felt tense, electric. Amanda stood in the hallway, arms crossed. Tammy sat in her recliner, irritated, defensive, restless. The argument began small, over something trivial. A tone, a comment, a misunderstanding. But it built fast, like a fire catching dry wood. Amanda snapped first. "I'm so tired, Tammy. You act like I owe you every second of my life." Tammy's eyes widened, then narrowed. "Don't act like I forced you to stay. You chose this." It wasn't a choice. Amanda shouted. "It was survival. If I didn't step in, you would have died." Tammy felt the words like daggers. She rose from her seat, shaking. "What do you want me to say, Amanda? That I'm sorry?
Fine. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you feel trapped by me." "I was trapped," Amanda yelled. "And you never even noticed. You never thanked me. You never helped yourself. You just kept falling and expected me to catch you every time." Tammy's voice cracked. "I didn't ask for this life. And I didn't ask to save you." Amanda fired back. The silence after that was deafening. Amanda's chest heaved. Tammy's eyes burned with tears. The years of emotional baggage finally spilled out. Raw, unfiltered, painful. Tammy whispered, "Do you resent me?" Amanda's lips trembled. "Yes," she whispered back. "Sometimes."
Ido.
The words shattered Tammy. She turned away, unable to breathe. And Amanda, realizing what she'd just confessed, felt her heart collapse. Chapter 7. The weeks of silence after that night, everything changed. They passed each other in hallways like strangers. They avoided the rooms each other were in. They ate separately. They spoke through other siblings, never directly. At night, tears soaked pillows in both rooms. Tammy broke because she felt unwanted. Amanda broke because she felt guilty. Neither knew how to fix it. Neither knew if they could fix it. Silence became their new language. And silence can be cruel. Chapter 8. The courage to apologize after weeks of unbearable tension. Amanda approached Tammy one afternoon. Her voice was quiet, shaky, desperate. "Tammy, I need to talk." Tammy didn't look up. Amanda continued.
I'm sorry.
"For everything I said. For how I said it. I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and I took it out on you. You didn't deserve that." Tammy's chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. Slowly, she whispered, "You meant every word, though." Amanda's eyes filled with tears.
Yes.
"But that doesn't make them right. I love you, Tammy, even when it's hard." Tammy blinked back tears. "I love you too." Amanda's voice trembled. "Can we try again?" Tammy nodded weakly. That was all Amanda needed. Chapter 9. The second break. But healing isn't linear. After a few weeks, emotions built up again. Amanda tried gently to talk about therapy, about accountability, about progress. But Tammy wasn't ready. And one afternoon, when Amanda softly suggested attending a group session together, Tammy exploded. "I said I'm trying. Why isn't that enough? Why do you always push and push? I'm not your project." Amanda stepped back, stunned. "I'm not, Tammy. I'm trying to help." Tammy's face twisted with hurt and anger. "Your help feels like judgment." Before Amanda could reply, Tammy stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the house. Amanda flinched at the sound. Her voice broke. "Please don't shut me out again." But Tammy didn't return. Chapter 10. The message that saved them. Hours passed. Then a day. Then 2. Amanda didn't push. She didn't force a conversation. She didn't show up at Tammy's door. She simply sent one message. "I'll give you space. But I'm here. Always." Tammy stared at it for hours. Her emotions battled inside her. Pride, guilt, fear, longing. Finally, she typed, "I'm not ready, but I'll try." Amanda's reply came instantly. Trying is enough. And the healing began again, slowly, quietly, gently. Chapter 11. The passport photo miracle. Months later, when the family planned their first ever international trip, Amy and Tammy had to get passport photos taken. Tammy was terrified. "I'm going to look awful," she muttered as she adjusted her shirt. Amy touched her shoulder. "You're going to look like you, and that's enough." At the studio, the photographer was warm, cheerful, joking with them, making them laugh. When the photos finally printed, Amy squealed, "OMG, I love mine." Tammy hesitated before looking. She held the photo, studied it, then gasped. Her eyes widened. "I look different. Better. Like a real person." Amy burst into laughter. "You are a real person, Tammy." They laughed together, loud, honest, and carefree. It was a moment they desperately needed. A reminder that they were still sisters, still human, still capable of joy. Chapter 12. The final step into the future. As the months passed, Tammy started therapy again. She opened up honestly for the first time. She faced her fears instead of hiding from them. She allowed herself to break so she could rebuild. Amy found balance as a mom, a sister, and a woman rediscovering her own worth. Amanda forgave herself for the years of resentment and quietly rebuilt her relationship with Tammy, one conversation at a time. The final scene is simple but powerful. Tammy stands at the bottom of a ramp, gripping the handrail. She takes a breath. Her foot trembles, but she steps forward. Then another. Amy watches, tears streaming. Amanda stands beside her, pride swelling in her chest. Tammy turns back to them, breathless but smiling. "Look," she says softly. "I'm still moving." Amy whispers, "You're not just moving, you're living." And in that moment, they all understand. Healing isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about trying, about choosing hope even on the days it feels impossible. And the Slaton sisters, broken, stubborn, fierce, loving, choose it together. Every messy, painful, beautiful step of the way. The sun was setting, but Tammy's room felt darker than the night outside. Dust floated in the small strip of orange light that slipped through her blinds, drifting like tiny particles suspended in time. The world outside kept moving, cars, people, families, laughter. But inside her room, everything felt frozen. Tammy sat on the edge of her bed, hunched forward, fingers pressed into her temples. Her breaths came short and shaky, not because she was out of breath, not because she had walked too far, but because her thoughts were suffocating her. That familiar tightness returned, the one that had become her shadow. Her heart beat faster, then slower, then faster again. She whispered into the empty room. "Not again, not tonight." But it didn't listen. The panic rose, unstoppable. Her chest felt squeezed from the inside. Her vision blurred slightly around the edges. She felt like she was slipping off a cliff, slowly, helplessly, and with no one noticing. Her mind began spiraling. Maybe it's too late. What if I never change? What if I already missed my chance? What if everyone is tired of waiting for me? The words echoed, bouncing around her skull until she couldn't tell which ones were real and which ones were fear. She glanced at the mirror across from her bed. For a moment, she thought about looking away, but her eyes stayed glued to it. The woman staring back didn't look like the person she wanted to be. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were swollen from crying the night before. Her lips trembled as she breathed. She reached out one hand toward her reflection. Why can't I just be better? Her voice cracked into a whisper. And for a moment, Tammy Slaton, who had survived hospital beds, near-death moments, internet cruelty, heartbreak, and public humiliation, felt small, fragile, breakable. Something inside her chest whispered the words she feared most. You're failing again. Tears spilled over before she could stop them. Chapter 2. Amy hears the breaking point in the living room. Amy was folding laundry, humming softly to keep herself awake. Her boys had worn her out, but this was motherhood. Messy, exhausting, loud, beautiful.
She didn't complain.
But tonight, something felt off. The house felt unusually quiet. Too quiet. Then she heard it. Tammy's door creaking open. Normally, that was nothing. But this time, the sound carried something heavier. Footsteps. Slow. Dragging. Unsteady.